Welcome to 52 Weeks of Flow. This is a moving river podcast, hosted by multifaceted entrepreneur and transformational coach Bea-Marie. In this podcast, we want to help you discover the concept of flow and show you ways to get into flow and how you can keep your life flowy.
Hello, and welcome to 52 Weeks of Flow, the podcast that delves into the depth of human potential and the transformative power of flow. My name is Bea-Marie, and I'm your host on this transformative journey. You know that I always bring on amazing people into this space, so today I have the pleasure to introduce to you my co-speaker at the Women Thrive Summit in March 2024. As a champion for female empowerment and living your wealthiest life, CEO and founder of Phoenix, the spiritual success coach, motivational speaker, and advocate for women's wealth, Clare helps female entrepreneurs leave the hustle, grind, and burnout culture behind to step in their successful soulpreneur era with ease, flow, and abundance. Through inner child work, mindset reframing, spirituality, quantum strategies, and infectious girl empowerment, Clare works with women to help them find their true gifts, leave the fear and shame behind, and step into their purpose with confidence and ease. Welcome, Clare Garner.
Oh, hi. Wow, what an intro.
I am so excited to have you here because when I read hype girl empowerment, I just completely love it because I am my people's cheerleader. I'm just hyping and cheering them on all the way. So this is totally down my lane.
It's like the pompoms are out, right?
Yes, they're out. Definitely. So
thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming and making time in your busy schedule. You are a very intuitive person and you do not take yourself too seriously. So I thought today we just go with the flow and see what comes up.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's dive into the nitty-gritty, shall we?
By all means.
Today, you're inspiring women, you're empowering them, and you're hyping them to be their most authentic selves and to give a flying about what other people think. But that was not always the case, was it?
No. My life or my story has, how can I best describe it? It's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster. And I think the hype girl thing really comes from, it's what I always wanted. I always wanted someone by my side, someone to cheer me on, and I remember I was probably like a late teenager. So I was about 18, 19, and I really wanted to become an entrepreneur, but I had no idea what I wanted to do, no idea how I was ever going to achieve like these big dreams that I had. And I just remember thinking to myself, I just need to find someone that will kind of take me under their wing and cheer me on and just guide me and support me. And now I get to do that for others. So that's kind of where that came from.
Yeah, that is so nice. And you brought up the word's entrepreneur. You call yourself a soulpreneur. What is the difference?
Well, the difference really is in who you are, in who you identify as, and that, your internal affects your external. And for me, when I was an entrepreneur, I was very much in the hustle, the grind, the burnout culture, right? You're focusing on strategy, you're focusing on how you can make more sales, how you can get more clients, how you can build your brand, win more awards, all the things that we think are going to give us the success that we desire. But what happens to most people, and definitely happened to me, is you just go round and round in circles and you're on that hamster wheel, what I like to call the hamster wheel of 3D entrepreneurial burnout.
That's a very long name, but yes.
It is. It's not catchy. It's not a slogan. But the difference is when you start to allow yourself to embrace your spirituality and to connect with your higher consciousness and to connect with whatever you like to call a higher power, you know, whether it's the universe, God, divine, quantum field, you know, higher consciousness, whatever you resonate it as, when you allow yourself to connect with it and to step away from that culture and from the way that we think is right, you know, from the way that we are taught to be successful, to be in business, to be an entrepreneur. When you allow yourself to come out of that and you integrate the 3D and the 5D, I like to call it, you integrate the success and the spirituality, the awakening and the ambition, everything co-creates together. That's when you start to become someone else. That's when you start to become a soulpreneur. And it's a different way of doing things. It's the inside out, not the outside in. It's focusing on the 80% of your success, which is your mindset, not the 20%, which is your strategy. It's focusing on what you're here to do in the world, not how you make more money. Because if you focus on the vision, the money follows anyway. It's just switching the lens of focus, switching the angle that you look at it at, and focusing on the impact that you want to make, the legacy that you want to leave, and doing it in a way that feels aligned, it feels in flow, it feels in ease, because it's who you are at your core. You know, it's just what you're meant to do. So it doesn't feel like you're working. It doesn't feel like you're being burnt out. It just feels like you're living. That's basically what it is, you know? And that is, for me, what a soulpreneur is. It's just doing what you're meant to do and finding what that is, and then doing it in the biggest, brightest, boldest way possible.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. That resonates so much, because I always talk about love. You need to love what you do to be successful.
Yes.
Because most people who are successful in nowadays right now, they're burned out. They're sad. They don't spend time with their family because they're grinding. They're hustling so much. Yeah. And for what? We have this one life in this reality, in this body, in this timeline right now. So why are we spending it so much with things that we don't like? Yeah. Just because society has taught us that a car, a house, a family, a dog, a ship, a boat, a whatever, you know, holidays in a private jet are the things that you need to be successful.
Exactly. And I think having and wanting all of those things is fine. And I like 3D things, you know, and this is a big part of what I teach my clients. It's going against the grain. It's kind of being brave enough to step outside of the societal norms, to kind of shatter those glass ceilings and break those chains that confine us, because there's a lot of stigma in the spiritual world about being ambitious, about being wealthy, about wanting things, you know, whatever it is. If you have desires, you can be perceived as, well, you can't truly be spiritual then. But what I teach is actually, your soul is here to experience this life. It's here to experience this 3D world. And your job, like I said, is just to switch the focus, because you will get all of those things, but you just need to do it a different way. You just need to focus on the legacy. You need to focus on the impact, and the rest will follow. It will follow, because the universe will co-conspire in your favor. You know, your manifestations will all come to fruition, but you just need to focus on the end goal, not the means goal. Focus on why you're doing what you're doing, not how you can make more money, because you're always chasing money then. And if you chase, you know, you repel. You need to be attracting money. And that's, again, a big part of being soulpreneur. It's attracting, not chasing, working with the law of attraction, not the grind, not the hustle, not the burnout. It's just being in the vibration where everything is just in alignment with you and everything just flows because you're at such a vibration that it matches, you know, and it just kind of magnetizes to you. And it's something I'm very passionate about, is empowering entrepreneurs to become soulpreneurs, but enabling them to realize that it doesn't mean sacrificing their dreams, their desires, their aspirations. That's actually why they've been awakened, to step into those, to break those chains, to show others that they can do it too. Because that's how we raise the vibration of the planet. You know, it's how we empower more people to embrace their spirituality, to raise their vibration, to step out of that poverty mindset and to live their best lives unapologetically. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Aho to that.
Yeah, right.
Yes, absolutely. And I love it when you said one thing doesn't exclude the other, because that is what I thought as well. You know, when I discovered my spirituality, I always thought, oh my God, then I cannot do this anymore. Oh, yeah. I should not do this then, or I should not. But spirituality is not about that you forbid yourself to do things. It's about experiencing all of you, because you are a spiritual being if you want it or not.
Yeah.
So it's like every fiber of your being, what you desire is where your path goes.
Exactly.
So I like the nice things in life. I like luxurious goods. You know, that doesn't mean that I'm going to throw my money out of the window and buy 10,000 cars, but I love my car. It's a really cool car and I drive it until it drops. So this is, you know, but it's like, I love stuff.
Yeah.
But and that doesn't mean
that's okay. You know, it doesn't mean that you're less spiritual. And that, you know, the people that have those beliefs, they don't, it's not coming from a bad place. It's just coming from their own limiting beliefs as to what they perceive to be right or to be okay. And, you know, everyone has got their own limiting beliefs. You know, us as coaches, whatever we call ourselves, that's 99% of what we work on with people, right? With clients, it's all in the mind. Everything in our world is essentially in our mind. You know, our reality is based on our personality. What we perceive to be real is just based on us and what we believe it to be so. So it's just about allowing yourself to do that, because I was the same as you. When I had my spiritual awakening, I was in the corporate world. I had a corporate business, which was successful on the outside, but on the inside, it wasn't fulfilling me. I couldn't hit my 6 figures that I was kind of striving towards. I might even say desperate to achieve. You know, it was part of like my plan. I was like, once I hit that, I'll be successful. But it was ever elusive because I was on that hamster wheel. But once I had my spiritual awakening, I then thought that I had to release all of those dreams and those goals and those desires. And I actually had a lot of judgment thrown at me from the spiritual world. And for a while, I felt like I was in no man's land, right? It was like, well, okay, the 3D world don't want me because I'm now too like woo-woo. And then like the new 5D world don't want me because I'm too egotistic in their opinion. And so it took me a little while to kind of figure out where I fitted. And that's when I realized that actually I don't need to fit into either box. You know, visionaries are here to break the chains, to throw out the rule book and to create our new ones, to forge new paths, to show a different way, and to actually bring in the light for more people, not to disempower them. You know, we want more people to live their best lives, to tap into their spirituality, because that's how they empower others. That's how they raise their own vibration. And I think it's a massive thing that is part of my kind of blueprint, if you like. It's part of my vision, part of the legacy I want to leave, is creating that new way, that new path, the new rule book, where actually there is no rule book. You know, it's just everyone is welcome. Spirituality is an inside job. You don't need to justify it to anyone else. You don't need to appease anyone else. Ultimately, in your heart, in your soul, how you feel, what your connection is. And it doesn't mean, you have to be completely woo-woo. If that doesn't call you, don't do it. There's a lot of things that I don't do that a lot of spiritual people do. And there's a lot of things that I do. And it's just everyone is individual, and it's just about what feels right for you. But you have to allow yourself to embrace it in the first place. And that's where the kind of bravery comes in, as to saying, okay, I might not fit into X mold, I might not fit into Y mold, but I'm just going to create a complete new mold. And that's going to be my path. And that, again, is the path of the Soulpreneur, what I teach people to do. And it's just about stepping outside of those boxes and just being brave enough to say, no, thank you. I won't swear on your podcast, but I'm going to go this way. And that's, it's a massive stigma, isn't it, in the spiritual world?
Yes, it is. And I love it that you bring that up, because I always say I bridge the gap between science and woo woo, because I'm a complete neuroscience geek. I'm when I entered this journey, I was so left-brained. I was like, okay, how is this working? How is this fine? No, this is not logical. We're not going to do this. Oh, well, hey. And then, I silenced my intuition, my gut voice, for so long that it was so hard to hear it again.
Yeah.
And now that I hear it, it's kind of like this inside battle still sometimes, when my intuition comes in and it's like, hey, and my logic is like, no, we're not going to do this. Nope, not going to work. But it's this faith, is this courage to step into the unknown, into this void of, I have no idea what's happening when I do this. But it's kind of like this Indiana Jones movie, where he is standing in front of this huge void, and he needs to go to the other side. And then there's this cryptic writing that says, you just need to do a leap of faith, and the path will appear in front of you.
Yeah. And
at some point he's like, oh, well, let's do it. And he just steps into the void, and all of a sudden a bridge appears.
Yeah.
And this is what it is. I always feel like, okay, you're standing in front of this black room, and you just need to step into it, and all of a sudden it will light up in the most beautiful colors.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the trustful, right? It's letting yourself almost release the control.
Yes.
And I'm a Virgo, so I'm with you. I'm completely left brain, in my old world, I would say. Like you, I have the battle sometimes. And I think as entrepreneurs as well, it's a very masculine energy, so a lot of us are very focused on strategy. We're focused on process. We're focused on, the kind of the checklists and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, it's the feminine that will save us. It's the trust. It's the intuition. It's the releasing that control. But I think a lot of people mistake that for then not taking action.
Yeah.
And they think, okay, so if I'm not going to do that, how am I going to do anything? How am I going to achieve anything? You're telling me just to sit here, sit back, let it all come to me. Well, we're not saying that, are we? We're saying, no, what you need to do is keep your eyes open, and you take aligned action when the opportunities arise. But you have to flip the lens. You have to switch the focus to see the opportunities. Because when you're in that kind of 3D kind of hustle culture, you're not seeing the opportunities that the universe is presenting to you all the time, because you're just so focused on do. It's like it's digging over here, but you're looking down here, so you just don't see it. And then you're like, why is nothing happening? Well, because you weren't looking up there to see the opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the trustful.
That reminds me so much of going on holidays when I was little, with my parents. We would drive. And as soon as I got into the car, I got into the back seat, got out my Game Boy. Back then, a Game Boy.
Yeah.
and I just started playing. I just put my head down and played. And my parents are like, look over there. Oh, look over there. Oh my God, isn't that beautiful? I was like, yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And this is exactly what you say, you know, opportunities present themselves. And sometimes I feel like the universe is fed up with you looking down, and then it just slaps you in the face with something so hard that you have to look up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're like, where does that come from? I did not see that coming. No, of course not.
And it's not going to do it in a way that you like either.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yes.
I always say I think a lot of times for us, before we have our spiritual awakening, like the universe is always trying to awaken you, you know, and I say universe, you know, whatever that means to you individually, whoever's listening, whatever you resonate with is fine. But it is always trying to get your attention. It's always trying to nudge you onto the right path because it knows that you're here for more. You know, it doesn't want you to suffer. It doesn't want you to spend your life living someone else's dream. It doesn't want you to literally live for the weekends because you're so fed up in your life. That's not what we're here to do. You know, that's not what our souls subscribe to. So if you don't take those hints and you don't take those opportunities to step into your rightful path, you know, your path of ease and flow and alignment, what you're here to do, then it's going to do it for you. And it doesn't do it subtly. Like for me, my tower moment was, I was in an abusive relationship for 15 years and I tried to leave many, many, many times, but I just never could overcome my fear to actually leave, which is ironic because where I was fearful, but I just couldn't overcome it. And all those opportunities that I had to leave and I couldn't quite make them, they're the universe trying to get you in alignment, trying to get you on your highest path. And then it was fed up, you know, and it was like, okay, right, I'm taking over here. You know, you're not listening to me. And it just pulled the rug out from under me. I actually had my life threatened for the third time. And it was like, for me, that was my tower moment. And that was the universe saying, if you don't step up, I'm going to have to force you to realize that this is not your path. You need to move. And as soon as that happened, I made a 360. My life changed in ways you couldn't imagine overnight. Like it was crazy. You know, I had my spiritual awakening. I then built 2 businesses to multiple 6 figures. I manifested like a house I never could have dreamed of. I'd just been to Canada for like a whole month with my 2 kids, which 5 years ago, couldn't have even imagined that. You know, I'm now an inspirational speaker. You know, but I had to go through that really awful time because I didn't take the opportunities. You know, I didn't listen. I didn't see the bigger picture. All I could see was the world that I was stuck in. And I couldn't imagine my life any other way until I had no choice but to imagine it some other way. And then it was more amazing than I ever could have imagined. And again, it links to our trustful, right? It's just, you have to trust that your life can be so much better when you allow yourself to change, when you allow yourself to be the most truest version of you, to come back to who you always were, who you were always meant to be, you know, the little inner child inside of you that's dying to get out. You know, I make video stuff, I'm like dancing around, like, you know, some people probably look at me like I'm crazy. I'm just being me, you know, I'm just a big kid. That's who I am. And I don't hide it anymore.
I love what you do on social media. By the way, Claire's Instagram handle is Empowered Phoenix Rise. And you need to check her out because I just love your videos. They exuberate so much fun and joy and just lust for life. And but I want to come back to something that you said earlier. And that is, you said the fear that you had to leave. And I think this is what most people keeps them in their comfort zone, but in the zone that they're stuck in.
Familiar, yeah.
Because they imagine that everything outside is even worse than it is inside. And I heard this beautiful story the other day that, you know, when there's a storm in nature, and there's a huge thunderstorm or sandstorm or whatever, all animals run away from it. They run as fast as they can. A buffalo does the opposite. A buffalo runs through the storm, towards the storm, through the storm, because a buffalo knows if I run towards the storm will pass me faster.
Ooh, I like that.
And I come out on the other side and I'm done. Yeah. And the other animals that just run from the storm and the storm keeps chasing those animals.
Ooh, I love that.
You are in constant fear.
Yeah.
And at some point, the storm will catch up with you.
Yeah.
And then you have spent years being in this fearful scarcity state, and then bam, it hits you anyway.
Yeah. I love that analogy. I'm totally having that. That is great. Yeah.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm channeling the buffalo. Always when I feel like, I don't want to do this. Oh no, I'm a buffalo. Anyway. I can do this.
Do it scared. Do it scared, because we all have fear. You know, it's a natural human experience. We all have it. And I always say this to my clients, you know, no matter who you look up to, you know, whether it's like a friend, a relative, a coach, maybe it's even, you know, like massive visionaries, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, you know, whoever it is, they all have fear. Mm-hmm. The only difference is they do it anyway. You know, they're the buffalo. They just face it head on, because they know that they have to go through that storm. They have to make the jump. They have to feel it to overcome it, you know. And I love what you said about, you know, when you're running away from the storm, it's not even the storm that's the scariest bit. It's the fear of the storm. And that is what, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It takes away, you know, years of our lives sometimes in that constant running, that constant worry, that constant fear. But if you're just a buffalo, it's over in, you know, a split second, probably. I think Mel Robbins says it really well. And she says, confidence comes in taking the action. Confidence isn't a feeling, it's a doing. Mm-hmm. Once you take the action, you build confidence. I mean, you probably know this, you know, the confidence competence circuit. It's the repetition of taking the action that scares you builds the confidence. You just have to do it. You literally, you just have to do it. There's no kind of sugarcoating it. There's no kind of, you know, painting the picture of you know, you can escape fear. You can't escape fear. You can only escape your destiny. And that's by not taking action, not following the signs, not being brave, not overcoming your fear to face it head on. That's all you're doing. You're only ever hurting yourself. You know, you're only ever denying yourself. You're only ever kind of keeping yourself small, dimming your light. And because of what? Because of fear of judgment, fear of failure. What even is failure? You know, fear of whatever it is. It's really irrelevant, because once you do it, that all floats away anyway.
Yeah. I really like that you picked up that you are only hurting yourself, and that when you're running away from your destiny, because when you're on your deathbed, you probably will not regret, you will not regret taking an adventure. You will not risk kissing somebody. No, you will not regret having kissed somebody. You will regret not having kissed that person when you wanted to. You will regret not living your life as your most authentic self. And you will regret, you know, living the life for other people.
Exactly.
Because that's what I've been an actress for 25 years. And what I've learned is that you are the lead. You are the lead in your movie.
Yeah.
And your life is your movie.
Yes.
A lot of people, you know, they said, oh my God, it's so cool that you're an actress, you know, you're in movies, you're in theater. This is so amazing. Yeah, it was, but I wasn't playing the main part in my life at that time. I was trying to get that in my acting career. I was trying to create that feeling through my acting career, and it didn't work. I felt completely lost. I felt completely, not depressed, but I was sad most of the time, and I was frustrated. And when I realized, being the lead in a movie is great, but when you come home, that movie is still going on.
Yeah.
And if you're not the lead in your movie, then somebody else will take that. Somebody else will take over, and you will be the side character that jumps in and be like, hey, from time to time.
Yeah. It's true.
And that it's kind of like being an entrepreneur. If you don't take your idea to success, somebody else will do it.
Yes. Do oh my God, you just reminded me. So I heard this great thing. So I've been listening to Vishen Lakhani's audiobook, The Extraordinary Mind. Absolutely game-changing book. If anyone hasn't read it, read it. It's
somewhere here.
Phenomenal. Here. You got it right there.
Right there.
Love it. I love Vishen Lakhani. So it's funny you said that, because this morning he was saying about lost my track. Rewind. What were you just talking about? Being the lead.
Yes.
So he was saying, higher consciousness, the universe, again, whatever you call it, is always wanting to create, and it's always wanting to express through you. Mm-hmm. Right. That's what we are. Like you said earlier, we're all part of the same energy. We're all born of the same atoms and subatomic particles. We're all in, one and a kin. But if it can't create through you because you're too scared, or you procrastinate, or you don't take action, at some point it's going to channel through someone else. And he was actually quoting someone else. I forget who it was, but he said this woman, she's a really famous author, said that she had all these ideas of all these books, but, life got in the way, and then she didn't take action. And lo and behold, a week later, she would see the same book that she had the idea for being released by someone else. And that's not coincidence. We don't have the same brain. That's creative intelligence. That is the universe. That is inspiration, trying to create, trying to be born. And if you don't allow it to flow through you, at some point it will flow through someone else, because it needs to be expressed. It's here to be expressed. Mm-hmm. And that's why, as visionaries, I always say, we are here to break the rules. We are here to make new paths, to light new ways, because we are channeling inspiration. We are here to express what wants to be expressed through us. But if that can't happen because you're not allowing it to, the law of science says it has to flow through somewhere else, because energy can never be destroyed nor created. It has to keep flowing continuously. And if it can't be released through you, it will just find another channel. It will find another vessel. It will find another, circuit to express through.
Yes.
But great book. Highly recommend and everyone to read that. Life-changing.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is, because we all have extraordinary minds. And, for most of my life, I felt really mediocre, like normal. And in a way that my friend's parents got divorced, they went into a depression that my parents didn't. My parents were cool. My parents, I had a really good I had a good childhood. It was all good. It was all like, there was no big ups. There were no big downs. It was all like,
yeah.
And some people envy me for that, but for me, that was like this cage. I was in this, and I was like, oh, I wish I was depressed. Oh, I wish I had this. Oh, can I have a car accident so I break something at least? I was trying to get this thing. And when I realized that I am the one dimming myself, I am the one putting me in this cage and not living up to my potential, not using the things that make me special. And special doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody else. No, we are all unique. That makes us all special. That's why I talk about superpowers. That's why I talk about superheroes. Because for some people, this is the only language that, they understand that something is special. And everyone has at least one superpower. We are all superheroes. The difference from us to superheroes is they know when to ask for help.
Yeah.
If superheroes cannot save the world by themselves, they create an Avengers movie.
Yeah. I love that.
And this is what separates us in this society, that we think we need to do it by ourselves, that we think that we are alone with our quirks and our weirdness and no, we're all weird.
Yeah.
We're all insecure in some way because we think, what the other people might think. But the other people don't think about us. They think about themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Albert Einstein said it. I quote this a lot, but you either believe that everything is a miracle or nothing is a miracle.
Yes.
I know which I want to believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if we see the world like that, wow.
Yeah. And everybody as well, like everybody listening to this, that means you, that means you are a miracle. And miracles are capable of amazing things.
Yeah.
And they're capable of things that you can't even comprehend, until it's done. Like, look at people like the Wright brothers, who would have even thought that you could have a thing flying in the sky before it happened? Yeah. Thomas Edison, he was nearly sectioned because of his ideas. But it's the people that are brave enough to follow their dreams and to follow the visions that they have in their mind. And I always say this because they belong to you for a reason, because you are the only person in the whole entire world that is able to materialize them, that is able to manifest them, that is able to create them. That's why they're yours. They don't need to make sense to anyone else. And, no one, again, quote from the book, but no one extraordinary ever achieved anything without being, told they were crazy or looked at like, they thought they were better than everyone else. And it's not about that. It's about tapping into your inner power, your inner superpower, your inner superhero. We all have it. We're all born of the same energy and everyone is as capable as everyone else, but you have to believe it. Because if you don't believe it, you can't achieve it.
I love that. If you can't believe it, you can't achieve it.
I don't know where that came from. Just flowed.
Yes, but that's good. I like those rhyme things because they just stick to the head.
Yeah. I love a bit of alliteration.
Yeah. And it's so funny that you brought up Edison because I think it was Edison. I read something that he got expelled from school when he was little.
Yeah.
Because they thought, they wrote a letter to the mom saying that he's stupid and he will not be capable of anything. Yeah. And when he said, "Mom, what does the letter say?" the mom read, "Your son has extraordinary talents and an extraordinary mind, and we have nothing to teach him here."
Yeah,
and that's why she taught him at home.
Yeah.
And look what he did.
Yeah. And that's all because his mum planted that seed. Because
Yes.
whatever you plant grows, right? We know this as coaches. Whatever you plant in your subconscious mind, it doesn't care whether it's good or bad. It's just going to grow. So by her planting that seed, it grew. And he was then able to achieve amazing things. But if she had read that letter as to what it actually said, we could play devil's advocate, but who knows? Maybe nothing that he achieved would have come to fruition.
Yeah.
Because it all starts with what you believe yourself capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ooh, I have a challenge because, we can create anything with our mind. And have you noticed, before you had kids or, when you felt like, oh, I would love to have kids. Like when I was ready to have kids, I saw pregnant women everywhere.
Yeah.
I saw them everywhere. It was kind of like this, oh my God. And when I thought about getting a new car, I saw the car that I wanted everywhere.
Yeah.
So a little challenge for everyone listening. I want you to look for hearts. I want you to feel love. Every person that you see, every tree, every animal, just think about, I love them. I love that person. I love that. I love, 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 love. And watch out for hearts. Because I started this a month ago, and every freaking day I see hearts in the shape of a leaf or in the sky as a cloud. It's crazy. So what we can create with our mind is extraordinary.
Extraordinary. And it's all synchronization, right? Because when you're looking for those things, that's the I believe that's the universe putting them in your path. You know, it's your awareness being drawn to them. But I've just touched upon this quickly because I think a lot of people get this mistaken. So synchronization for me, it's not suddenly the universe like putting something there that wasn't there before, right? That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is that thing is always there, but you were looking over here. And what synchronization is the universe bringing your focus there. That to me is synchronization. When your focus sees the things that you're looking for, that is when you're in flow. That's when you're in flow. That's when you're in alignment. That's when you're in harmony. And if you do that with the hearts, I love that, because when you're in your higher vibration, right? Love is the highest vibration of all. You're going to attract that back to you. It's natural law of science. You get what you give, you know, you attract back what you are, what you feel, not what you want. So by doing that, you're going to attract more love into your life, more abundance, more wealth, more success, more of everything that aligns with that.
Yes. And when you've mastered that, when you see the heart, because let's be honest, we need to see.
Yeah.
Most of us, we don't just trust. We need to see. We need to prove that it works. So when you see the hearts, believe that anything is possible that you send out, even also the negative. Because this is, if you have been into manifestation and you wanted to create something, you know, and you're like manifesting, and nothing works, and you're like, well, that bullshit doesn't work. Well, then you're probably sending out the wrong vibration. You're sending out the wrong notes. You know, you're probably sending out, ooh, I want more money, but I don't deserve money.
Yeah.
So you're counter manifesting constantly.
Yeah.
So look for hearts, send out love. And then when you see that it's possible, give out abundance, give out the vibration of wealth. Feel wealthy, feel rich, and it will come to you.
It will come. It will come. You just need to feel it. You need to believe it. Because when you feel, like you said, you know, we're all manifesting all the time. You know, most of us subconsciously, unconsciously, whatever you want to call it. Manifestation is just a byproduct. It's just a natural law. It's a natural consequence. It's going to happen whether you want it to or not. It's just based on your most dominant thoughts and actions. So like you said, if you're wanting consciously to manifest abundance, but you subconsciously feel that being rich is icky, or it means you're a bad person, or, you know, wealthy people like are stuck up, and, you know, all these narratives that we all,
like you said before, spiritual people are not wealthy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I can't be spiritual and successful. Whatever the playbook is that you're writing in your own mind, that is running 95% of your life. 95% of your life. You just don't know it. So if you're only listening to the 5% that's saying, I want money, but 95% of you are saying, no, we don't. We're not bad people. You know, I don't want to be a bad person. I don't want to be judged. You know, I don't want to be one of those yucky people. You know, all that stuff. It's not going to happen. You've got to rewrite some stories in your subconscious, in your programming. You know, I like to call it disrupting your programming, because we're all programmed to believe what we believe now. You know, everything that we believe now, we've been programmed to believe. Not necessarily intentionally, but it's just happened. And so we've got to disrupt that. We've got to rewrite that to actually write a new program, one that's going to help us get to where we want to be, not hinder us.
Yes. So, Claire, let us know where, like I already spoiled your Instagram handle, Empowered Phoenix Rise, but where else can we find you?
So yeah, I'm on all the socials. So same handle on all of them. So TikTok, TikTok, I talk a lot more. Instagram, I'm a bit more silly. So whichever floats your boat. And then also YouTube, I do longer kind of talking videos, if you fancy that. And then yeah, otherwise that's kind of where I'm most dominant, like on the social media front. Facebook, I do have Facebook, Clare Garner. You can come and join me there. And that's where I am, really.
All right, great. So if you could say one last thing to our listeners, what would that be?
Unleash your inner power. Unleash your inner power. It's all within you. You just have to unleash it. Unleash it into the world unapologetically.
I love that. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. That was incredible.
It was really fun.
Yes. That was so cool. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And that's it. That's it for today. That's our show. If you like what you heard, then come back next week when we dive deep into flow and all that magic and passion that helps you transform your life. And if you haven't yet, then subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the newsletter at www.superwoman.coach. Rate us with 5 stars. And yes, share the love. Thank you so much.
Yes, and keep shining, keep growing, keep learning, and keep flowing.